right, everybody. Welcome to Week 3 recap. This is going to be a solo pod this week. Didn't go out and find somebody. We got 14 weeks total, and we only have 11 people outside of me. So that leaves a few weeks of maybe not doubling down on two people in one season. Try to get everybody. But this week I'll be by myself. We'll make it quick because I'm trying to get this done before Thursday night football. Little late this week, but better late than never. First matchup, we're gonna rock into this. We got me versus Joey. Joey beat my Doonies in this week. I think for Joey, it's the same old. His receiving group this year has been great. Drake London's kind of struggling a little bit the last couple games. I guess every game. Um, but these two guys, Amon-Ra and Rome Odunze, have been very solid for Joey. As well as those receivers, Joey's also coming in hot this week with 17 points from Ken Walker and 18 points from Kyron Williams. Joey's loving to see this Ken Walker bounce back. We'll see what happens when Zach Charbonnet comes back this week, actually playing in the game. That's in about an hour. But Kyron's shown to be very solid. And Caleb Williams is doing that thing. He is actually playing very well. Ben Johnson's got him out there chucking balls and not taking as many sacks, and he's also got rushing. Very good week from Joey here. He scored 123, which is a very respectable score. And then you look over at my team here. Bunch of average, bunch of mid. I only scored 85, 86 points almost. Not a great week for me. Bo Nix, pretty average game. Broncos really couldn't get their offense anywhere towards consistency in that game. They almost won when they should have probably lost by like 3 touchdowns. But 13.4 from Bo. You want more, but you're happy he's not scoring like 6. Bucky Irving is getting all the touches in the world, but not scoring any touchdowns. Not incredibly efficient either on these touches, but the total of 29 total touches against the Giants is what you want to see. Chuba Hubbard had a weird off week, only scoring 8 with a 30-point blowout by the Panthers there. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Neighbors had an off week against the Chiefs. We'll see what Jackson Dart does for him. And then George Pickens has been great. DK Metcalf has been incredibly average, getting touchdowns at least. You like to see him being a very big red zone target for Rodgers in these first few weeks, so that's definitely a bright spot there. I think it's time that I'm taking Keenan Allen off the bench. Kind of wanted to play him this week, but he was going against the Broncos, so ain't no way in hell that I'm doing that. And then the bench for me didn't really have anything great there. Great overall win for Joey here. Congrats, Joey. Your team's looking good. We'll see that in the commission list later, huh? Going on to the next matchup, Barsuganator squeaks out a win here against Bait and Switch, Kyle B. Looking at Keegan's team, Jonathan Taylor is the heart and soul of this team. Even if his team doesn't score points, Jonathan Taylor will, and he'll carry him to the promised land. He's looking as the clear RB1 for the rest of the season, IMO. I don't think anybody comes close. Maybe if Bijan starts scoring touchdowns, maybe. But Jonathan Taylor's looking like a sick fuck out there. He's just running all over people. And then he's got Daniel Jones to pair him with that. Solid pickup. I think he picked him up for 300 wave or 300 fab, which 30%. He had Brock Purdy go down, so I'm curious to see when Brock Purdy comes back what Keegan's going to do. Does he still have Brock on his team? He does, yeah. So that'll be an interesting little start decision there. But the Colts are looking great. Achane still squeaking out 12.6. The The Dolphins actually looked much better this week, even though they lost. I think the fourth quarter for them was fairly bad, but the first three were great. So that's a good sign for Achane in the future. His receiving core here, Tet and Debo, and they just had bad weeks. I think Tet will bounce back. It's a weird one. It's like Tet and Chuba didn't really score too much, but the Panthers still won 30-0, so it's a little confusing. I can't even tell you who scored the points over there. Debo Samuel, I don't think this is going to be a very consistent thing. I think Debo is going to get very much involved in every game, especially if Terry is questionable with that quad or hamstring injury that he has. I expect a Debo bounce back. I think Keegan actually dropped Jonnu Smith. I wonder if maybe he picked up Henry, or maybe Kyle B picked up Henry. Keegan definitely went and got a different tight end. And then Nico Collins, he's shown that he can score points and get targets in this incredibly bad Texans offense. So that's a really great sign there for Nico Collins. Broncos bounce back game, 8 points. Better than -5, huh? -5 would have lost you this week as well as last week. But Bronco Dogs ain't doing that every week. And then for the bench for Keegs, he's got Ibuka, who's definitely slotting into a starting position with that Mike Evans injury. Yeah, good overall 103-point week from Keegs here. Nothing to complain about. Um, yeah, I always say I'm happy scoring over 100, and then getting like to 110 to 120 is the sweet spot. You really want to you know you have a good team when you could consistently put up those big games. But Keegan's team is great. Maybe some off weeks for his receivers there, but I think he'll be just fine. Kyle B's team here, Lamar Jackson leading the helm again. This is actually insane. 27 points from Lamar, 32 from the Vikings. That's more than half of his total points. What is that? 96 divided by, or 30, wait, no, that's 32, 27, 60 points. Let's go 60 divided by 96 here. Scoring about 63% of your total points between your QB and your defense. Um, it's not what you want to see, um, but he's got James Conner going down as well. It's pretty bad. I did make the rankings earlier. I might actually have to drop Kyle B down for that James Conner injury. And then kind of the lack of consistency from the rest of his skill players is very, very scary. Um, and he doesn't really have many bench pieces outside Devon Smith to kind of plug in there. So Kyle B's in a very interesting spot. Um, I think we're trending down here after this week, but he's got Lamar at the helm. I think a lot of these players will bounce back as well. I think he'll be just fine. Yeah, but overall, kind of I would say it's a bad week for Kyle B. Imagine if the Vikings scored like a normal team, he would have had one of the lowest scores this week. But it didn't happen, and that's fantasy football, huh? So good job, Keeks. Good win. Let's go on to the next one. We got the Jimmy Stuffers taking on Glass Bones and Paper Skin, Bryce Gomes. A little Lighthouse duel here. Start off with Jimmy's team here. Very, very good week from Christian McCaffrey, 19 points. Good week from Puka Nacua. You love to see those top guys scoring the points they should. And then Lad McConkey, he's definitely started the season slow for Jack's sake. Hope that's not the trend. Seeing that the big Q and Keenan Allen are sucking up a lot more targets than we thought they would this year. That's kind of makes Jack's team trend a little down. Calvin Ridley, the man loves to drop a pass. Overall, Jack's team, It's looking all right. It's looking all right. Travion Henderson, I think, will trend up towards the end of the season, but a below average week from the Stuffers. I assume that's probably not going to happen very often. But for this week against Bryce, it did, and luckily for Bryce, um, he had some decent consistency. I mean, Jared Goff only scoring 13 here is not exactly what you like to see, but kind of reversing the narrative a little bit on his running backs and his receivers. Um, his receivers putting up games that you would hope they would put up. I mean, 13.4 from Tyreek and 12 from Q is definitely good enough to support these running backs that he has. He has three top. What is it? Jacobs only has 18. Three. These should be three top 15 guys going on the rest of the season. So not too much to worry about here for Bryce. It does look like this defense play, the Colts beating out the Chiefs by 3 points, is what brought him over the edge. Um, and Bryce is kind of lucky to squeak this one out. Getting a win with only 94 points is the dream. You take those and then you don't look back, and then you go to next week. So that's a good way to go, Bryce, getting your first win on the board. Good job. And then we're going to our segment of the week here. We got taken out the trash. Unfortunately for Ian, this is the second time out of the 3 weeks that he has been taken out. And he is starred in this segment. Starting off with Daniel's team here, just a monster week. Daniel's team's looking, it's just very hot and cold. It's crazy because he had a very bad week last week, and then he just comes back with 138 points. I don't. It's the roller coaster of fantasy football, huh? Josh Allen, obviously, he's gonna score a shitload every week. Derrick Henry kind of had a little off week again with 10 points. Um, Hopefully that's not the trend for him, or I guess for my sake, I hope it is. But it's seeming like that's not going to be the trend. Maybe Houston, Kansas City, Rams. Derrick Henry's one of those guys where you almost feel like the matchup might not matter too much just because this Ravens team is cooking on all fronts. It just depends if Derrick Henry has the juice or not that week. Jordan Mason, this is one of the biggest risers for Daniel here. Very, very lucky about that Aaron Jones injury, so he's now plugging in Jordan Mason, who's probably going to be top minimum RB2, minimum top 24 every week. So Derrick Henry, Jordan Mason, Josh Allen are a very great trio here. Mike Evans going down is going to be tough for Daniel, but hopefully these guys like Waddle and Shakir or Mooney can fill into this flex spot here, and then he hopes that Waddle can kind of stay consistent. After seeing Garrett Wilson this week, I think he's a very safe play, and will score a good amount of points no matter what. Depending on it doesn't depend if what's that quarterback's name? Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. Tony Ferguson's also looking to be a top 5 tight end moving forward. 14 targets, 12 targets, especially with CeeDee Lamb going out. Overall, great week for Daniel. Cannot complain about that. He should be very happy. Going over to Ian here. CeeDee Lamb going out. It's probably the biggest news line here for his team. And the injury of Najee Harris makes Omarion Hampton's value explode. It's Najee was looking like the better running back through the first 3 weeks until he went down. Kind of on the same wavelength as Jordan Mason here. Both guys very benefiting off of an injury moving forward. So Ian should be very happy about that. Average Travis Etienne week. I think he did get a garbage time touchdown right at the end that kind of saved the week for him. But it's still a touchdown nonetheless. BTJ only going 6.5. I think that should start being a very big worry for Ian. It's not what you want to see, especially as a guy that is going in that late first round, early second, even though he got him for a keeper in the seventh round. Um, I think this should start trending up. It's Ian's way out of becoming the trash every week. Even though 92 points, not a bad week at all. Um, kind of just unfortunate. Daniel put up 140 on him, but that's fantasy football, isn't it? Ricky P, he's looking great. Trey McBride, target goblin. How many you get? Eight targets and a touchdown. So you love seeing the touchdown there from Trey McBride. And then the unfortunate sit of the week here for Ian, even though it wouldn't have mattered. He would just got 17 more points, which you like to see towards your points for, but it wouldn't have won him the week. David Montgomery on the bench. You should be excited about this moving forward. The Lions are cooking. Green Bay shut him down week one. We were all scared, but it's looking like that's not going to be the case moving forward. Lions are an elite offense, and David Montgomery is a very solid RB2 there behind Omarion Hampton. So 92 points, not a bad week, Ian. Not a great week. It is what it is. 1-2. Still got plenty of season. Good job, Daniel. Moving on to the next matchup. We've got Connor versus Hawk Diggity Dog. Parker taking his first loss of the year. Parker, Jalen Hurts, looking great. 30 points. Love to see that. Shout out to Tush Push. And him starting to throw the ball. It's going to be very good moving forward for those Eagles receivers if they keep that game plan. Less Saquon Barkley, more passing. Seemed to work well from them there in the second half versus the Rams. The big sting here for Parker are his running backs. Chase Brown, after Joe Burrow's going down, and kind of just in general for this season, has not looked great. Everybody thought coming in that he would be like this stellar beast workhorse running back and scoring 15 minimum a week, but that is not the case. He's kind of stunk. And then Ashton Genty, same case. The Raiders are not scoring too much, and when they are scoring, it is through the air. And Ashton Genty has not been catching a lot of passes, I don't think. Yeah, so 0 targets, or 0 receptions, 3 receptions, 2 receptions, 1 yard, 2 yard. I think Ashton Genty's way out of this is becoming that receiving back. But we'll see moving forward. Zay Flowers kind of came down to earth a little bit, what we kind of expected. The 25-point game in week 1 was a little shocking, I feel like. And then 11, and then 2.3. I feel like that's might be the trend for Zay moving forwards, anywhere from 10 to 15 points in the future. And then he's shown in the past that he can have these absolute stank-ass games where he's not in the game plan and he doesn't need to be used to win games. Even though they did lose, they still scored 30 points. So that is not great there for Parker, but JSN is great for Parker. The man just gets the ball thrown to him a million times. Snagging up targets left and right. 6 targets this week. I think they rested their starters after a while, so you're glad to see him get in the end zone at least before they rested him. But 18 points, great week. Zach Ertz moving forward should be great. No Terry McLaurin maybe, so I think he'll be good moving forward. DeAndre Swift kind of trending down as the season goes. I think Ben Johnson's going to boot him out of there eventually. So the Manungai train, toot toot, should be stellar. And then Seahawks defense scoring 17 wasn't enough to give them the win, but still like seeing that out of your football team on your fantasy football team scoring 17 points. That's the dream. And then some bench guys. A.O. Manners, a great pickup. Um, and these are a bunch of guys that you could slot in and out of your flex if needed, but you don't feel great. Matthew Golden could emerge here. We never know. Going over to Connor's team, started Jordan Love, got 11.2. That was kind of a stinker of a Browns game. Browns looking like a really good defense moving forward, but they just can't score points. So it was a pretty low-scoring game. That'll get you 11 points right there. Only scoring 10 total for the team. Jahmyr Gibbs is looking to be a very, very solid running back. We all knew it was going to happen. He's the clear first option there in Detroit. David Montgomery, last game, I think they kind of like switched on and off drives a little bit almost, where it was like, all right, this is Jahmyr Gibbs' drive, this is David Montgomery's drive, a little bit what we saw last year. Quinshon Judkins is coming on the scene fast. He's looked great, very efficient. What are these averages here? 5.2, 6.1. Great yards per carry there for Quinshon. I think Connor's very happy that he invested in that Browns RB room. Marvin Harrison has been a letdown this season. Kind of doing what he did last year. Had a really big drop that could have been a touchdown. That would have probably got him at least probably 9 more points, but instead he's at a measly 6. So Cortland Sutton coming back into the game plan for the Broncos. He had a really nice 50-yard touchdown, but he's shown that he's the clear one, obviously. And then T. Higgins with that Joe Burrow injury. He's probably going to have to go on the bench until he's shown something. But Connor's bench here is a little scary. He's got Chris Olave. He can slot in there, but towards the end of that team is it's looking a little tough. But maybe he's going to go find something on the waivers. Good job, Connor. A nice little 20-point win there for you. Going on to the next matchup, we got Kyle Spalding beating Noah here by, 8 points, 7, 8 points. Noah starting Patty Mahomes. Got the win, didn't get very many fantasy points. It's unfortunate. The Giants kind of stink, but it is what it is. Bijan showing that he doesn't need touchdowns to score points, even when they're losing by 30 points. So that's a really good sign. Not a good sign that the Falcons are struggling, but a good sign that no matter what, he's going to get you points. Tony Pollard kind of squeaked in a lucky touchdown here. There was a touchdown taken back from might have been a receiver. I don't remember exactly. And then Tony Pollard got on the one and then punched it in there. So it's great for Tony. Devonta Adams is looking fantastic. He's looking like an end zone target most weeks. 2 touchdowns. So as long as he's getting those valuable looks in the end zone, he'll be great moving forward. DJ Moore, I think trending down a little bit. What Joey was saying on the pod last week, it might start looking like more of Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. DJ Moore's still a great receiver, but kind of riffing off the Bears fan, I think DJ Moore is kind of showing why he's not an elite receiver, just through effort and extending the play and making the effort to do everything. J.K. Dobbins is a great ad for Noah here. He drafted him in the 8th round. RB10 through the season, a great flex spot there. He can probably bounce up into his RB2, and then maybe when Chris Godwin comes back, or even Scatabo can move up and get Tony out of there. But Noah, great bench. Scatabo, McLaurin, Godwin, great lineup. Lost this week to Kyle, but I think moving forward, Noah should be looking just fine. For Kyle's team here, he's got Laser Mayfield. Bakes bakes electric. You gotta love it. 17 points from him. Not a terrible week. James Cook is looking like an absolute animal. Doesn't matter who they're playing. He's going to get the ball and he's going to score touchdowns. Um, I have a feeling that this trend is not going to stop soon. He's got 4 total through 3 weeks. You love to see it. Brees Hall, how many? He's got 9 carries, so carries are going down throughout the season. He's still getting the receiving work. 7.2 is it's not what you want to see from your RB2, but it's not the worst thing ever. For Kyle here, the resurgence of his receivers almost. I guess A.J. Brown majority, but A.J. Brown, uh, stellar bounce back week, 10 targets, 6 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Kyle's very happy to see that, and he's happy to see Justin Jefferson score 10. I think this is going to be better moving forward here with Carson Wentz starting. So Kyle's scary. Look out for Kyle. Jalen Warren, only 10 points, but he looks really good out there. I guess only 2.6 average there for him, but he's receiving. He looks good running. He'll be just fine. 15 points from the Steelers defense. That's really good. And then he's got a bench full of guys scoring points as well. So you feel comfortable moving some guys around, matchup dependency and whatnot. And then Rashee Rice coming back soon. Good job, Kyle. A nice little win for you there. 115, 114. Respectable week. Respectable week from Noah too. Just unlucky he kind of hit the guy in that 110 to 120 range. All right, we're going to be moving into the offers report here. Looks like Ian picked up Booty here on the second day. Dropped Kyle Pitts. Picked him up for $3. And then we got some big spending this week here. Kyle B spending a lot of that fab. 238 on Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is scored 4 total touchdowns. He's getting targets. He's getting work from Geno. This is an interesting one. We had 3 other people bid on him. Trey Tucker he seems like the guy that shouldn't be there, but he is. So I see why Kyle B spent up on him, because if this does last, see 3.4 against the Chargers. If it does last and he is that target for Geno Smith, this is a great pickup. So you got Bryce, Jack, and Keegan also bidding on him. Kyle B coming in with the second highest bid, or the second highest valued bid of the week here for Woody Marks, 57. Woody Marks is a guy that I picked up right at the beginning of the season. Kind of saw that the Texans' offense was butt cheeks on a stick, and then even if Woody Marks comes in is the number 1 guy, still very scared that he'll be able to do anything. But if the Texans pick it up and Woody Marks does become the guy, this is a very good pickup here for Kyle B. He's also picking up Blake Corum, two of these backup running backs here. He's investing in some handcuffs. I don't know too much about Blake Corum, I'm going to be honest, but obviously 5 carries, 53 yards, kind of showing that he is getting some work. I don't know if Kyron got hurt last year. Maybe he didn't, but if there's ever a case for Blake Corum coming into a starting position, getting the workload, this is another great pickup here for Kyle B. Jimmy with the Ollie Gordon pickup for 52. Am I not mistaken that he's on the waivers? Yeah, so picked him up for 52 and then immediately dropped him. I guess we have a Tony clause on Ollie Gordon now. Interesting. I wonder who did he drop him for? All right, we're riffing here. Recent activity. Ollie Gordon. So he immediately picked up Ollie Gordon and then dropped Ollie Gordon. interesting after owning him for a total of 16 minutes. Jack Jack was up scheming last night. Maybe had a couple ciders in him or something. Don't know. All right, we're gonna keep going. Um, Going next, we got Cedric Tillman for 51. This is a guy that was on Keegan's board for a while. Yeah, maybe we're seeing this slight slump in the playing the Green Bay Packers defense. I don't understand this one too much. I'm gonna be honest. But I mean, he's gotten targets the first 2 weeks, touchdowns the first 2 weeks, averaging over 10 yards a catch. Good pickup there from Joey. Hunter Henry, this was a big one. I'm surprised he only went for 38. Honestly, I probably should have put a bid on him. Um, but 11 targets for Hunter Henry. He kind of had an off week. Week two, that's the week that I played him. Got pissed off, dropped him, and now he's going for 38 bucks the next week. He look going forward. He kind of is coming out as the number one guy there in New England. So it's exciting for Bryce. Hopefully he can turn out for something good for him. Kenneth Gainwell for 22 points, going to the Barsuganators. Um, Getting some receiving, getting some rushes. He got the touchdown this week. Um, I don't know if this one makes too much sense to me, but yeah, it's looking like Keegan already has dropped him. What's going on, boys? Why are we spending money and then instantly dropping people? There must be something I don't know, or he just changed his mind. It's only $22, point two or 2% of his budget there. Daniel's picking up the Texans D for 21. Are they playing? They're playing Tennessee. They've looked decent. They get sacks. Good pickup there for Daniel. Uh, we got Connor here picking up Mark Andrews for 11. He had a great week last week. I think Isaiah Likely's coming back. So we'll see how Andrews does with Likely. But as for right now, 24 points last week. Not bad. Only spent 11 bucks on him. Calvin Austin here for Keegan. He's kind of that wide receiver 2 behind DK in Pittsburgh, but he's getting targets. Aaron's throwing the ball. He's getting touchdowns. Good pickup for Keegs there, $5. And then Kyle B picking up the San Francisco kicker for $4 here. So I love to see the boys riding with their team's kickers. I can always agree with that. We're going to be going off into the commish list here. Let's uncheck these. We'll get the weekly rankings here. At number 12, Connor's staying at number 12. The reason why Connor is staying at 12, one, the James Conner injury, or wait, no, not James Conner. The Aaron Jones injury and T. Higgins. It's kind of the same reasons from last week. Marvin Harrison is kind of trending down. He's getting into that 9-point projection. You always want to see your guys over 10. The double digits just looks better. I mean, he's got solid running backs. I think Judkins and Gibbs will be good for him, but the supporting cast outside of Sutton is scary. And then the Jaden Daniels injury. Hopefully he comes back fine, but for now, I don't think we can bet on him being a super elite QB going forward if we don't know how much that quad or hamstring or what or it's his knee sprain is affecting him. And you got Tootin, who could do something there. But yeah, we got Connor at 12. Got Ian at 11. This might be disrespectful with the David Montgomery game and Amarian Hampton game. Maybe I'll honestly I might do a little remix uh, mid ranking here. Who knows? It's the commish list. I can do whatever the hell I want. But CD Lamb going down is a big thing, and that is why even though David Montgomery is showing flashes and Omarion Hampton stock is way up, CD Lamb going out is going to counterbalance that. Um, so as soon as BTJ gets it going, Ricky Pearsall questionable. I heard some chitter chatter in the group chat about this earlier, but didn't play on a Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we got Ian at 11. We got me here at 10. My team is just so incredibly average. If Neighbors isn't going off, and if Bucky's not getting in the end zone, Brock Bowers has fallen in rank. George Pickens up a little bit, um, but there's nothing too incredibly exciting here on my team. I hope Pickens and Dart, or not Pickens, Neighbors and Dart could just be elite moving forward, but the uncertainty there kind of makes me drop myself down a little bit. Um, yeah, the total amount of booms that have been on my team have been very low. But it's consistently mid, um, and that's why I'm putting myself at 10. Kyle Spalding had a great week. What am I doing here? Okay, here. Um, Kyle Spalding, let's see. James Cook is great. AJ Brown coming back is great, but I'm going to need to see it again. 1 week isn't enough. Um, I think the ideal world for Kyle's lineup, or where he does eventually start going up the rankings, is taking Brees Hall out of the lineup, shoving in Warren to the RB2, and then having Rashee Rice there into the flex, and then your team's looking much more dangerous. Um, Maybe I'm not looking enough into the future for these rankings, but your team should be just fine. I mean, you scored a good amount of points this week. It might be disrespectful to put you this low, but it's hard. It's hard to rank. We've got Daniel here. I think Daniel. What do we have in week 2? Daniel's moved up. I mean, Kyle and Daniel have both moved up, surpassing me. I dropped myself pretty low here. Um, Daniel's team, when it's hot, it's hot. But when it's not, it's not. I think Garrett Wilson could be a really solid piece. Daniel moves up because Jordan Mason is here to stay until not Tracy. Aaron Jones comes back. But maybe he just takes on that lead role. He's looking great. Averaged 7 yards a carry last game. Obviously Josh Allen, Derrick Henry, very good. I think Garrett Wilson will be pretty good moving forward. But having Mike Evans go down is really rough for your team here. It kind of puts you in limbo for like who you're going to start every week in your flex, which is not a fun place to be. But it's not the worst. It can leave room for a boom player, but it also creates a pretty low floor. So that's why I have you at 8. Number 7, we got Kyle B. Kyle B has moved. Kyle B has stayed at 7. Good job, Kyle B. Not moving down. Bait and switch here. I am scared for Kyle B's team. Saying that, good job for not moving down. I think maybe I should move you down, but we'll leave that for next week. Starting Woody Marks in your RB2 is really scary. You should probably just go try to trade for a running back, which was really hard. But I don't think Woody Marks is going to score you over 5 points. And then slotting in Trey Tucker This is actually terrifying. Oh, now that I'm looking at this. Um, all right. I'm sorry, Kyle B, but we're gonna do this just for the time being. We're moving you down. We're moving you down to 10. Um, I mean, Jamar Chase obviously good. So many questions with Jake Browning. I mean, starting Jawan, he's hurt. He didn't play last week. Starting Trey Tucker is very scary. I mean, I guess against Chicago could be a really good play. It's kind of a smart move by you. I'm not gonna lie. But Woody Marks and playing Alvin Kamara against the Bills. This is rest of season, but I'm not seeing a lot here that gets me excited. Um, yeah, this is you kind of hope that your team turns it around here. I'm sorry, Kyle B. Oh, this is disrespectful, but I'm just gonna put you last. I I didn't look hard enough. Oh God. Uh, I'm sorry, Kyle B. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. But this had to happen after I looked at this. This is not good. This is not what you want. Um, yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Number 6 here, we got Parker. Parker's team, I said a little bit earlier, but having Genty and Brown both incredibly underperform that first and second round, it's very hard to have a good team outside of that. Zay Flowers is kind of showing that he's regressing a little bit, and then he's kind of floating back into that area that he was in in previous years. I guess he had a good season last year. No, um, but yeah, he doesn't excite me as much as he probably should. But JSN obviously a great play. I think Zach Ertz will be a great play moving forward. Jalen Hurts, I skipped over Jalen, but Jalen Hurts will be just fine for you. Tush pushes, passing the ball now. Matt Golding in the flex here is really interesting. Going against Dallas, they don't have a good defense, so um, I think it's a good play, but we'll just see. We'll see how that works. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored over 15 points and had a boom week. Yeah, overall high ceiling for Parker. He's not yet fallen into scary territory, so that puts him in the top half of the rankings. A.O. Manor coming off the bench, I think he is a great prospect moving forward. Yeah, we have you at 6, Parker. We got Noah here moving up. Let's see, what are these? Got Noah moving up one. Parker moved down a couple. I moved down a bunch. Kyle B moved down a bunch. It's kind of the big trends here. We got Noah. Um, Noah's team. I think you're happy with Bijan. You're really happy with J.K. Dobbins. And then you'll find your stride here for your wide receiver too. But for now, I think DJ Moore is fine. Maybe trade one of these running backs. You have 4. You probably should be putting Scatabo into your starting lineup now that Tyrone Tracy's out. And then Terry McLaurin will come back. He's questionable, might not play this week. So Terry in that wide receiver 2 spot. Team looks great. Um, and then you can always put in Kyler Murray and take out that piece of shit at your quarterback. Number 4, we got Bryce. Oh, not Daniel. We got Bryce. Uh, I think Bryce's team looks great. He's got 3 really solid running backs. They honestly had a pretty average week last week, but I don't think that's going to be the case moving forward. And then having the big Q and Tyreek as your receivers will do just fine. They're not. I Quinn Johnson's very interesting because he somehow turned into a beast. And it's seeming like that's going to be the trend moving forward. And then Tyreek obviously can have a good week any week. Maybe not. Maybe he is kind of just this 14-point guy. They're pretty limited by just the offensive power that the Dolphins have. But Worthy coming back should be interesting, and then Hunter Henry after Worthy comes back. I think you might be able to place Travis Kelce there, or even replace him right now. Get that Taylor Swift loving ass motherfucker out of there. You know, your starting lineup. Overall, solid team for Bryce here. I don't think there's many holes, and he's built it well. Number 3, we got Jack. I think Jack's on a move down one. Jack has moved down one and not up one. So he's got Trey Benson now, so he doesn't have to start Travion Henderson anymore. So that's good for him. But having Ridley and McConkey show that they're not really solid options to have every week. What's McConkey? Yeah, wide receiver 49, wide receiver 71. It's scary. Also, having the Tucker Kraft injury is scary for his production. Tucker Kraft and Brock Bowers are now in the same boat of being hobbled, but still going out there and doing that thing. In the bench, I think Trevion moving forward will have a bright future, but that might just take a second. So he is a stash down there on the bench. Travis Hunter's starting to play more defense than offense. Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt has been injured. I don't think he practiced, but he might be coming back. But having 2 veteran running backs right beside him in McNichols and Rodriguez is not good for his stock. Harold Fanning could be good, but the Browns stink. And then Braylon's a good handcuff for Breece Hall, but he kind of already hit on the handcuff lottery already. So if it happened again, Jack would be in hog heaven. That is for sure. Number 2, we got Joey. Joey's moving up. Joey's teams look good. It looks good. The fact that Ken Walker isn't a bum, but having that Charbonnet injury is really good for Walker. Once Charbonnet comes back, which could be today, his stock will go down, and he'll be a little bit more iffy on that RB2 spot, and he doesn't really have anybody to replace him at the moment. So if Ken Walker does regress, it'll be tough, but his receiving room is what is putting him in this spot. Having London, Adunze, Brown, and Tyler Warren, those are all great options. You're very happy with all of those guys, and even Caleb's hooping. So I think Joey's team's looking really good. It honestly could be 1, but we'll leave him at 2 for now. And then we got Keegan's team at 1 here. Keegan's team, very solid. He has 2 really good running backs. He's got Daniel Jones as QB4. That Colts offense is looking amazing. And then Nico Collins, Igbuka, Tet kind of a little hobbled a little bit. I'm not too sure. Non-participant on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. That's a little scary, but you got Debo. He's got Charbonnet. Picked up Brashad Smith. Watching that Fantasy Footballers podcast I see. And then Romeo Doubs can be a sneaky guy, but he might go to the waivers. Yeah, I think Keegan's team's really solid. Not a lot of holes. Isaiah Likely is a nice gamble. I think if he comes back and he plays well, it's going to be a really good play for Keegs. Yeah, but overall, it's a very solid team, and that'll put you at 1. I think that puts you at 1 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, good job, Keegs. And then we're going to end this off here. I'm going to remind everybody to put in their picks for the week. Everybody does have it in. Keegan's taking the Bronco Dogs. Jack's taking the Rams. Bryce and me are taking the Chargers. Kyle Spalding taking the Bills. Ian taking the Packers. Daniel taking the Bronco Ducks. And then Connor taking the Bills. And then we did have Parker, Kyle B, and Noah falling out. So no, we are now down to 8 people left in the survivor pool. Yeah, it's a pretty fun season so far, even though I'm fucking 1-2 and my team's mid. Um, Martini Police leading the charge with the most points for. Barsuganator's right behind. We got Ian, Connor, Kyle B, and me all in the bottom, all under 300 points here. Yeah, I think it's been a good season so far. That's gonna be it for the pod this week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm gonna be hopping in Discord to watch this football game with you guys. So I'll see you next week.